we're about to go somewhere odd now. Times to rise and elevation starts to drop down. Our little secret, don't kiss and tell, you're so bad. I'll probably see you in hell. Welcome to hell, baby. This is podcast hell.
So I've had a really fun week.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of this board game called Blood on the Clocktower, which you're familiar with.
Yes.
And it's like taking over Marathonized life.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way. It's because it's really social and the people are really interesting. Like everyone who plays it is some crazy, a ton of like military engineers do it.
Yeah.
I met a guy this week and I was like, oh, what do you do? Like, you know, and he's like, he basically works on B-52. And he's like, that's all I can tell you. Like, all right, man. Let's play some board games.
He's like, I killed bin Laden.
Yeah, basically.
He's like, here's a photo.
And so it's a lot of really interesting people, and the game it's cool. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you winning money when you do it? Like, are you guys playing for prizes or anything?
Nobody plays for money, but it's just it's a game that the more you play it, the more fun it becomes. And so we've just been playing it so long now.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and we really love the people that we're playing with. They're really fun, interesting people. So we just keep doing it. And so this last Sunday we had a tournament that Chris Grace hosted, and he's making money doing it because people want to play with him. So they like pay to play with Chris. And there's a couple other people that like get paid to. It's really wild. This is the new entertainment industry. Like, people aren't fully grasping that the new entertainment industry is this stuff. It's just weird. People are more willing to pay for an experience with you than they would be to pay for like media or something you're actually like making.
Yeah.
Like, they'd rather people are selling personality. Somebody said this to me the other day. They said it's like people are selling personality more than they're selling any media or anything you're creating anymore.
I mean, I guess that's cool. I mean,
if you're making money, it's fucking awesome. I mean, if people were willing to pay me money to hang out, like, okay.
Sure. I mean, look, I think, I mean, well, I don't know. We're making podcast is kind of like that. It's like an experience.
Well, yeah,
I guess.
So for some people, it would be nice to experience that. But yeah, I mean, that would be the ultimate goal, is that people want to come just be a part of it. It's really, that's what you're like, in the end, you're selling is like being a part of the podcast is almost more than your
podcast, a podcast tour. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Those things.
Well, even the Patreon, like the Patreons people do now, they do a Discord, which is basically like a private chat between you and the fans who are willing to pay the most money. So it's like, you know, that's where you get to, they get to like interact with you and actually share their opinions about stuff that you talked about in the podcast with you. And,
that's cool.
Yeah. So it's like your ultimate fans become almost like, you know, friends, but they are paying you. So it's a weird, it's just a weird
like a fraternity.
Yeah. It's like a fraternity. But yeah, it's a very weird time for a lot of industries, and especially the entertainment industry. I just think this is, and to counteract that, I have friends who are doing stuff for who basically like there are a number of people I've known who've done stuff with I shouldn't say with a couple of different companies.
Yeah.
Where they're basically just not getting paid. Like, what they're getting paid is not worth what they're doing. Yeah. And then I know people who are playing board games with people and they're getting paid more than the people working for Hollywood.
Yeah. I guess maybe I'll come play Blood on the Clocktower with you. I can't stand the betrayal.
Well,
I can't stand the betrayal that comes with that.
Well, you
game.
have to learn. So the skill of the fun of Clocktower is you have to force yourself to get the golden middle with it is you have to care enough to play well, you know, like really try. But there's a point in the game where you feel like you're kind of losing sometimes. You're like, either you're on the good team and you're like, I mean, you're so confused that it's like clearly evil's doing a good job, or you're on the evil team, and it's very clear that you're just sucking, and good's going to win. And that's when you have to laugh, and that's when it's fun too. Like there's two sides. It's fun when you're playing well. It's also fun when you go. It's a game that encourages what we call Mad
Kinging.
It encourages Mad King.
For the people at home, a Mad King is when Rob and Meredith, usually we go over to your place, we'll play Catan.
Yeah.
And at some point, Liz will start to win. And when Liz gets
and there's always somebody who's getting their ass just destroyed. Like there's usually three out of the four of us, 3 people are doing, 2 people are doing okay and like sticking with it, and then usually Liz is pulling away really fast. So it's already like, okay, Liz is gonna win. But once that happens, and then you're the 4th person who is just absolutely getting destroyed, there's no chance you're gonna win. It's
that's where you destroy the game for everybody else.
Yeah, you just go, and the way we do it is really fun. You just come up with insane reasons why you're basically giving away your property, or, doing things that are just completely petty. Allowed in the game, but petty, and it's like, why would you do that? And it's like, because nothing matters, and I'm basically burning my own fields.
I mean,
it's fun.
It is fun. It's the best part of the game. The best part of the game is somebody giving up and trying to ruin the victory for the person.
So what's really fun about Blood On The Clocktower is it's a game for people who don't understand. I'll just explain basically the game is good versus evil. People don't know whether you're good or evil. So the entire game is trying to figure out who's good and who's evil. Yeah. And you do that by killing each other in executions, basically, that you vote on. What's fun is there comes these moments in the game when it's like there's nothing anybody can do. If you're evil and there comes these moments in the game where it's like there's nothing anybody can do and you get to reveal that you're evil, it's like so funny.
Yeah.
It's such a great feeling.
The reveal is always great.
The reveal is super fun. So it'll be like a moment where it's like, okay, there's 3 of us left, or there's 4 of us left or whatever, and we just need to vote on this one guy. This guy's definitely the bad guy, and we just need your vote, Rob, and we know you're good. And then it comes, and everybody's voting, and then it comes around to me, and I laugh instead of voting. It's like, all of a sudden the realization, oh crap.
Well, did you ever watch the show Traitors on Peacock?
So that's like,
I just watched the first season. Like I just watched the first season of that.
Did you enjoy that?
The only part that I really enjoy is where they go into the circle and they have to tell the people that just kicked them out, traitor or
it's
faithful.
Very fun, right?
That's the
fun.
Best part.
It's so fun. So that's what's great. At the end of the game, the guy who's running the game comes around and does a slow reveal of like who everybody actually was. It's usually really funny. Usually there's some really good player that we killed right away, who was like, I told you guys, like desperately trying to convince us they were good, and we just executed them because we didn't like their face or something, and that's always funny. I mean, it's real nerd shit, but the older I get, the more I'm like, it's okay to just do nerd shit, because it's too hard to, like, you can't give a shit about being cool when you're old.
No, there's no more of that, and I feel like even for me, like, I've started to, like, I was watching the baseball game today, and I was getting frustrated, so I like muted it, went on YouTube, and I started watching clips from Company, Being Alive.
Amazing.
And I was like, man, the 20-year-old version of me would have been like,
she deleted Being Alive.
What do you mean
from karaoke?
Why?
I put Being Alive under her name.
She deleted it.
And I think she deleted it because I went back and looked. She was doing something. I looked over and I was like, I think she deleted it. I think she was probably worried it'd get to you or something.
No, she wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't. I don't know why she. I wouldn't feel weird about.
I was very excited for it.
Yeah. I love that song.
Yeah,
it's also an amazing song. It's not a great karaoke song. I know it was made good in Marriage Story.
Yeah,
but it's like a 9-minute song.
It is too long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too dorky. We need melody.
For the listener, we had Eric got a surprise karaoke party. Did you already talk about it on the pod?
I have not talked about it on the pod.
Yeah, so Eric had a surprise karaoke party that Liz did an amazing job putting it together. Great surprise technique, which I had never heard of before, which is she had Meredith and I do a fake text. So it really came off like...
Oh, yeah. She
Like you 100% were like,
100
Rob and Meredith casually decided to go bowling tonight and invited us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this works out perfectly. We go
literally
home
had
and
Google Calendar had a calendar on a calendar event on my calendar saying 5:45 text Eric and Liz and on the chain, and it said exactly what I was supposed to say.
Yeah, she was so good. I remember like when she got in the car for us to go to dinner, I was like, "Did you see Robin Meredith's text?"
Oh my god!
And I was like, she was like, "No."
Great.
I said they want to go bowling at X Lanes, and she's like, "Where's that?" I'm like, "I think that's the place we went." She goes, "Oh, cool."
That's okay. But let me ask you: is there a part of you that's like, she's too good at this?
Well, of course. That's why I can't play. That's why I can't play murder games with her.
Now you're like,
no. When we were watching Traders. I guess I'll spoil season 1. It was like 2 years ago. There's like I can't remember the black lady's name.
Spoil, but whatever. Just
well, the lady who's the
reveal. There's a reveal that happens.
There's a reveal that happens, and a lady. Well, I'm going to spoil it. So I'm just going to spoil it. There's a lady that like backstabs somebody at the very end of the game to like get more money.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it was kind of fucked up. And Liz was like, that's the game. Like just shark eyes. I'm like,
every once in a while.
Fuck, is this a game to you? Like, what else? There's been moments in Blood on the Clocktower, Werewolf, that game, or Murder, whatever it is. Like any game where people die with their eyes closed, and you've got to deceive. Where I'm like, she looks me right in the eyes, and it's like, and then it's gone.
Yeah, there's that moment. I mean, any new player I play with, the first time they get me, and it turns out they were evil, and they were like super. It's like the first time you learn somebody can do that.
Yeah.
It is always shocking. But then you play the game enough and you realize, oh, pretty much everybody can do that. Like, it's a skill. You just practice it and then you get better. And like in the game, we're constantly updating each other if somebody has a tell, because it's not fun if you have a tell. Like I don't want to win. I don't want to like keep the secret from you that you have a tell. You know, because I play with you all the time. I want you to continue to find ways to like lie to me.
Okay, so you will tell somebody if they have a tell.
Yeah, like there was somebody in the group, this woman who, when she was telling the truth, she would get very animated and tug on her hair. So she would get so stressed by it. And finally, I told her, I said, Marjorie, very funny, great comic, and a Scottish comic, and she. But I said to her, I said, just so you know, when you're evil, you don't get that stressed. And when you're good, if she's really good, I was like, you get stressed enough that you'll like grab your hair. And I think she's changed. I mean, I haven't seen her do it since that. I don't know if I changed it or if she's just like worked on that in general, but you know, because it pushes those emotions. So I get it. I know I have a tell. I'm sure somebody will point it out to me. My thing is to play crazy. Like I just play crazy every time, because I'm like, if I play crazy every time, no one will ever know. Well,
you are crazy. So it's easy to.
It is easy for me to be crazy because I am crazy.
Your best move is to just be
me,
yourself. Yeah. Because then you don't have to remember.
That's kind of what it is. It's like I can try, like every once in a while I try and do a complex like deceit, which would involve me like, you know, layering upon layering like bits of information. Like there's a way to be the best, the most amazing players I've seen are the people who are able to create what they call worlds, meaning like like a description, you know, like the way, you know what I would describe a world as? It's almost like a motive or a description of like how a crime happened. It's similarly, it's like I think you're this guy because that guy said this about you, and if that's true, that would mean this is true. And you know, it's like this line of confirmation that you're trying to build. And like the best players are the ones who are like very good at the performance part of it, but then they're also really good at what we call the logic part of it, being able to piece together a false story that really makes sense. And so I'm like, oh, this is like, you know, and so there's a couple of people that have played that really can do that. It's terrifying.
It's a little scary.
Because it makes you really go, there are people in the game who I've played with who it does make you go, oh, there are people that would 100% like would destroy me if we were like living in a Machiavellian medieval time. Like if I like 100%, if I like was going against this person in like the king's realm, trying to like rise above. Like he would 100% have had my throat slit in a back alley at some point, and I would have been completely caught off guard.
The veneer that like that's like we're never that far from having to do that to each other. Like I have that. I've had that feeling so many times in life where I'm like I'm being friendly to somebody. And I'm like this guy. I've given this guy too much. Like if it
that's people who that's an evolutionary emotion you're experiencing.
Even just think about like
you are not supposed to show your belly, your soft underside to enough people, and so that's part of your hyper intelligent brain is doing all these math equations and saying to you you should feel uncomfortable with what you just exposed.
I've even like the idea of like putting in my address if I'm getting like a lift or something. I'm like, do I want someone knowing the exact address? Like,
you and I differ on that. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, you do the thing. I mean, Meredith tries to do it also, where it's like you pretend that information, every bit of information about you is easily available. Like, not even. It's not like it requires some amazing thing. It's literally go on Google, type in service for tracking people or, finding info, and there'll be a whole list of sponsored links where it's like, yeah, just pay $100 and you can use our service and we'll tell you everything about everyone.
Yeah. You'll be like, do you want to know what kind of porn your friend looks at?
Yeah. We'll tell you.
Like here. Yeah.
Just like, that's like kind of what I've just accepted about. So like the Lyft drivers, I mean, all that stuff. I'm just like, cause Meredith had that the other day. She like looked up, personal info to see if she could find it online. Like she's trying to like figure out Google. And I'm just like, we lost. It's okay. Like the goal now is just defense. You're always playing defense. You try not to fall for scams. You check your credit card balance to make sure nobody's been, using it illegally somewhere, or stolen.
I think one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get like a baseball rack, but like for a single bat, and have a single bat in every single room of the house.
Because you have a fear of being attacked
in my home.
I am not a fan of the baseball bat as a weapon.
It's statistically speaking, this is the best weapon you can get. Is you want to bat somebody.
I don't think it is.
You don't want it. The gun is not good. The knife is not good. The bat is good.
No, the bat is not good. I think that the bat requires too much room to really do like what you want to do with it.
You can just hold it like this. Like you hold it like that and then just go clunk. Just give somebody a little clunk. Like this.
I hope people are watching the video. You are doing like it's like Captain Caveman cartoon
Kill
bonk.
Bill. Like
this I get what you're saying. Yeah,
like you just hold it like that,
little bonk,
and then you go little bonk, and then that gives you the space, and then you come in for the big bonk.
No, I'll tell you what. I own a weapon. It is I own a Glock. No, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't do if you did.
I know you'd be so jealous.
I'd be like,
you'd be very jealous. No, Meredith and I talked about a gun when like COVID happened and everybody's paranoia spiked, and we were like, "Dear God, were we the dumbasses that don't have a gun?" And that was going to be the difference between like making it through this or not. No, like I see the best weapon that I looked at. Everything I looked at, there's just one very clear best weapon:
the human heart.
The human heart.
Showing somebody that you care about them, even if they're about to murder you.
Exactly.
You go, hey, before you do this, I want you to know, I know,
and
it's not your fault,
and I love you,
Yeah.
So that's how I lost my hand. That guy chopped off my hand. I'm just kidding. No, the best weapon is pepper spray. We have pepper spray. It's great.
I'm too scared about accidentally spraying myself.
But that's the great thing about pepper spray. The worst thing that would happen is you'd be like, damn it. Like it wouldn't end nothing long term happens. The
person, you pepper spray yourself and the person's like, oh, my easiest. I mean, you have to be very good at knowing where you're spraying it. Cause it also gets everywhere.
Yeah, but it's
gonna
like,
get you
it is
too.
The most like panic proof. It doesn't matter if it gets everywhere. The important thing is it gets on the person. So if the whole room is filled with pepper spray and your eyes are covered, then their eyes are covered in pepper spray. And
you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. But I watched all these videos, and everything that I saw was basically like every cop uses pepper spray for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it almost
hilarious.
always, it is hilarious, but it really does immobilize pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Like, people will try and fight through it, and it's just like, very rarely can. Whereas like tasers, people fight through all the time. There's like tons of videos of dudes getting tased and then just being like, run! Like, for some reason, they're able to like overpower it.
I feel like if the cause was great enough, I could overcome a taser. But I can see pepper spray being rough.
Pepper spray, I think,
in a fight, by the way, if you're over close quarters, eye gouge is like the most successful thing. You go dig your thumb into that part of somebody's eye, it's over.
Yeah. I mean, biting.
Eye gouge is the best.
You think
eye gouge?
Yeah.
Bat. This is what you would want.
Yeah.
You want a bat that the second it makes contact with something emits a pepper spray.
Pepper spray bat.
A pepper spray bat.
I guarantee they make that. Somebody makes that.
Yeah, I guarantee the funniest thing in the world would be like accidentally taking a pepper spray bat to a baseball game and having and just a pepper spray explosion. They definitely don't make that, but they should. That's going to be my...
Yeah. What annoys me about the home defense stuff is California... I actually like California's like gun laws and stuff. Like, I do think in general, if you want to own a gun for home defense, you can in California. Generally, you can't. You have to be 1,000% sure that your life is in danger if you're going to pull it.
Yeah, I've never disagreed more.
Yeah, you want Texas standard. You want standard ground.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
I get it.
Somebody comes into your house.
Well, let me get. So my main issue is. Then they block all these other, like, even the pepper spray has like certain regulations on it. You can't pull out pepper spray without using it, basically. If you pull out pepper spray, it's as if you used it. So I can't pull out my pepper spray without still I have to have a clear defense that this person was threatening me and was going to physically harm me.
Yeah.
Even without spraying it. You can get in trouble for that. So like
California's the worst.
California, well, I just don't get. It's like you write these laws and then you go, but wouldn't you want to? Oh, and then they outlawed pepper ball guns, which was a great thing. There's this company called like Byrna that is making these. There's a couple of companies that make them, but basically it's like a handgun, but it fires pepper balls.
Yeah,
and it's like a really painful shot. Again. Doesn't kill people.
Now, if you shoot it into your pasta, is it a tasty treat?
Yes. So the first thing you do, a lot of people, so it's a pasta gun.
And then you look at it and you blind yourself.
Well, but so this is like a great. It's like to me it was like, oh, that like makes total sense. This is like a long range pepper gun that allows you to basically be far enough away from somebody. It looks threatening because it's painful because it fires at a high rate.
How far away does it fire? Like, you can fire
you
from
can fire pretty far, like
200 yards.
No, not 200 yards, but I mean, like probably like
you're like Bruce Willis in The Jackal, shooting pepper at people,
like sniping people.
You go, Sergeant Pepper, he fight the pepper,
then in California,
and then
it's illegal, the pepper version. So all they sell is the kinetic rounds. So you can buy this gun and it shoots the kinetic rounds, which are very painful.
Yeah,
but they're not going to immobilize somebody as much as the pepper ball, because the pepper ball is painful and then it releases pepper in the person's face.
Yeah.
Like, what's nice about the pepper ball gun was that you could shoot it at enough of a distance where you're not getting, like you said with the pepper spray, you're more likely to be in a mist of pepper spray yourself. But that's what I mean. It's like whenever, like, it's interesting to me. I would like to understand how these laws get passed where it's like, to me, I'd be like, wouldn't you want California wouldn't you want to be like hyper encouraging like pepper ball guns? If just like your average person was more likely to buy a pepper ball gun than a real gun? They just
love criminals so much. It's like you can't. It's the only time it's okay to use a gun is to in California, and like I'm sure they're like pepper balls fully legal unless you blast into your own mouth. Do you think you get with a with a pepper ball? Or would everything just taste like way too peppery for the next like 6 months?
I'm sure it would suck no matter, because it is a high rate of fire. So it would,
Yeah.
I mean, a high speed projectile. So it would
It would
fuck
hurt.
you
It would
up.
hurt.
I bet if you fired it directly into your
mouth?
mouth, you would probably fuck up your mouth. Like, you probably would need stitches.
Yeah.
Like, almost certainly.
And
I
then
can't imagine that close, because it's not made to be like point blank
Yo, and
range.
then you would be shitting pure pepper for like a week.
Or
you
you'd
imagine
be
how-
like choking to death on the blood from your mouth.
Yeah, but you could just spit the blood out, but,
okay.
but the poops would be rough.
The poops
Pepper
would be
poops after you try to with
Did
a
you,
pepper
Conan
gun?
O'Brien had a great line. Remember he did Hot Ones? Did you see his Hot Ones?
I did. I don't remember the line
It's so
though.
funny. Well, afterwards they were like, so like, we want to hear about the after part because we saw.
Oh, when he's like welding his.
Yeah, he said I could. He said I was hired as a spot welder. I just aimed my asshole at the bolts.
You know what my dad's doing now for Christmas presents?
Shitting.
No.
Oh,
He's doing nothing but weapons. He gives everybody weapons.
oh, so he's just
Losing his
fully,
mind.
Yeah, he's fully
lost
losing.
his
So
mind.
what's the weapon that who's got?
Well, I got that little sword last time.
Oh,
but
he's giving fun weapons.
he's giving fun weapons.
Okay.
He's like nicknaming
Like
them.
you aren't getting you're not getting a gun from your.
Eventually, I'll get a gun. I'm sure he will give me a gun eventually. But
he owns guns.
He owns guns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know where he hides them.
Well, tell everybody.
He's always like he's very proud of like gun safety and stuff.
Yeah.
And every time he talks about it, he like
tells you where they are.
no. I know where they are, and he leaves the room. I'm like, this isn't where they are, but I just look to my siblings. I'll be like, it's above the dishwasher.
Oh, he
Like-
prides himself on having hidden them, and
No, but like, yeah, because he used to hide them like right next to where I sleep. So I'd if we went hunting or we'd go to like the NRA shooting range or whatever, we'd come back. He'd be like, all right, you hang out upstairs. I'm going to put the guns up. I'm like, okay.
Wait, did you ever go hunting?
I've been hunting a couple times, but I've never killed anything.
What did you guys go hunting for?
Deer.
my
We
God.
had a family.
Did you shoot at a deer and just?
I never shot at the deer. I never shot at a deer. My 6-year-old niece shot a deer like 2 weeks ago, and she's like a cute little girl who like sings Disney songs, and she's like, we couldn't find the blood trail. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Where was this in New York?
This is in Maryland.
Maryland. Wow.
Yeah, they hunt. And my grandfather was a butcher.
Yeah.
So it's like all that stuff is not like too far from. It's just for whatever reason, like it just didn't take with me. Like I don't think I loved it.
Well,
that
hunting
much.
is a life. That's your life. Hunting and fishing.
Yeah,
It becomes your life.
I like neither. I like shooting guns, and I've shot guns a lot.
Yeah, but hunting I've never
Yeah.
wanted to do. I've never seen an animal and wanted to kill it for sport. That's never been fun to me.
Yeah, but if I killed the animal, if I did kill an animal, I'm not against killing an animal. And I think
eat.
I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Or to eat, or to fuck. I mean, there's a lot of things
yeah,
you can do. You have to use the whole
animal's
beast.
corpse.
That's like a real.
Yeah.
That's actually true. It's kind of disrespectful if you're
So
gonna
it's kind of disrespectful. You
to
don't
not have sex
fuck
with
the corpse. I mean, if you're being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make a coat out of its skin. Obviously, it's still alive.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you want it to. You put on a fashion show for a skinned animal. You fuck it, and then you eat it.
Yeah.
A little bit at a time. It's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
alive for that too.
And that's how you know.
This is.
Well, that's how you prove your loyalty to Satan.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate goal of every hunter.
Of course. Yeah.
All my uncles out in Minnesota, they all hunt, and I've been fishing, and I love fishing, but I also feel bad. It's weird. Killing animals is weird because I eat so many of them. I mean, I have 100%
Yeah.
been definitely partially responsible in the murder of thousands of animals.
Yeah. Could be tens of thousands.
Easily. Yeah. I mean, it would not seem that crazy to me, because meat tastes great.
There was my wife's family has chickens, and one night we were there. They were like they killed a chicken for dinner,
But isn't
And
chicken? Chicken is the one animal that I understand. Like I look at it and I go, we really did breed these to look like food. Like
No,
they
but
are
here,
just.
dude, trust me. I watched it. I watched them break its neck.
Oh, you felt it,
and the
it.
whole family is like kind of like sad. It was like a kind of a dreary fall day in the state that they live, and they're making the food. And I remember like I just go into the kitchen and like, you know, my brother-in-law's like, "There's a price." There's a price for the meat. And I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
And that's one meal where we had chicken. I have chicken
Oh yeah,
four times a day.
Yeah, it's insane.
And sometimes I'm like, I didn't make it right.
Yeah.
Fucking throw it away. Piss on it. Like I don't care. But it when you have to look the animal in the eye and be like, you're done for me now.
Yeah, I do feel like in the long run I'd feel better though. I feel like if I was consistently killing my own
If you're like
meat,
petting the
yeah, because I think the real issue I have with it is when I learned about factory farming. Like I don't have an issue with killing animals for food when the animal's given the right care, but if its entire life is suffering, then that's really
you give it a good life, but then you what I
watched a couple of videos where because I was like I want to understand where my food comes from, so I watched a couple of documentaries on how they slaughter certain animals, and like this one I watched with a pig was like it was like they love the pig, they treat it very kind. The pig's last experience is literally being like fed food as it's like led down a hall into the slaughter room, and and then they use that bolt gun or whatever to
like No Country for Old Men.
On its forehead, and it just like immediately basically like
dead.
goes into shock and death, and it's hard to watch, but part of me is like
I would do it more humane than that. I would probably use a pillow and I would smother it in its sleep.
Yeah. And then while you're whispering to it.
Yeah. You go, you did this. You did this. You did this. No,
you think I wanted this? Why did you lie to me? Why did you lie to me? Yeah, for me, I only like my animals if they've been garroted by a mobster while they're in the front seat of a car.
Maybe
like I want my pigs to get in the front seat of the car being told they're going on a nice trip to the shore. And pack them a lunch and everything and give them a nice little cute sun hat. And
then Polly Walnuts.
And then exactly, right in the back. A backseat of the car,
blood on the fucking
blood on the dash. Yeah,
that's the way to do it. I think there actually is a happy medium because like we shouldn't torture and eat them. That's not right.
Torturing is insane. The insane thing is that to me, death in general does not bother me. It's generally like the people being forced to live in awful conditions is what really gets to me.
Dude, I'll even take it like whenever I'm like watching like, somebody's been killed in a TV show and then they're like, and look what they did with the body, and people are like, oh my God, the body. I'm like, who gives a fuck about the body?
Yeah, the body desecration bothering people so much is. I mean, I
can get it, but
I understand why it's upsetting because it's like what depraved person would do that. It's like the like to desecrate is an extra level of insanity. But
let's be clear. If you had a choice to be tortured, but then your body treated very well after you're dead, or to be killed quickly, and then desecrated afterwards. I would much rather be a dead fuck puppet than an alive dude getting castrated or whatever.
Yeah, for 100%. Yeah. But I think in general, I think we put this high value on death and a low value on life, especially in America. It seems like,
dude, everywhere.
I understand everywhere.
Where is it? Where is it worse than America, or where is it better than America in terms of that? Name the country
where they value. I feel like they value
Where they value
quality
life,
of life
life
more?
more than death.
I mean, I would say like any country where they're providing like universal health care seems to be.
Good point.
I mean, right? It just seems like that's a little more of a.
I guess, but
So,
like,
oh, by the way, so I'm playing with all these. There's these people from the UK visiting who are like big in this game, and you know they get.
Are you playing live?
Yeah, we're playing in person.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is really taking over your life. Then.
It is. I don't know where it's going, but it's been fun. So
okay.
we're just seeing where it goes. But they came and he had to go to the doctor, and he was blown away at the speed. He has like never seen a doctor that fast in his life.
Yeah, in America.
And he's never been to a doctor in America, and so he had to go.
Yeah.
And then even with the bill, he was still impressed. He had to pay like $300 to go to this doctor.
Yeah.
And he was still like just so impressed with the speed of it. And I was like,
So red, white, and blue, baby.
Yeah, it made me feel, I was like, I get it. I'm like, our doctors are incredible. Like when you're getting treated in America, you do feel it, especially at like any of the high end, like the like big hospitals or something.
Yeah.
You do feel the sense that you're like getting the best care.
Do you know in Canada you can now like volunteer for euthanasia, and they send you like a little kit?
They
send you a kit.
Okay, yes, but
and the kit, you open it up, it's just a rusty saw.
It's not even a clean. It's not even a clean saw. It's a rusty.
You have to slowly saw your own head off.
Yeah,
it's pretty tough. Dude, can I say what they should do?
What?
If you're gonna do that, and you're gonna like. We have a society that euthanizes. That's fine, but they should send you fun weapons to do it with, like
fun ways to do it. Why does it have to be a weapon? Like to me, you go to Kodiak Island with all the bears, the grizzly bears.
Yeah,
and you run them around with like a stake strapped to your neck.
That's a good one. I would do like put me. There's like a step on a wall that you can like kind of climb up on, and then you set up a harpoon that's remote activated, and you remote activate, and then you get harpooned through this into the wall.
That sounds very expensive.
But then the step that you're on knows to go back into the wall, so you're just on the wall hanging,
and then
harpooned.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like it looks pretty.
That would
cool.
be pretty epic.
Yeah,
landmines. You set up your own landmine and walk onto. That would be a fun way to go. Like you should have to do it in like maybe you catapult yourself.
Well, catapult is the way. That's what I said I wanted for my funeral was naked catapult my dead body into the ocean. Which really? I think they did in. Oh, I can't. Yeah, I wanted that, and then Saturday Night Live did like a sketch where they did that, and it like ruined it for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, Viking funeral's the closest you get. That's where they put you out, and then they light you on fire going into the...
Yeah. I think all of the suicide stuff is very disturbing, but also there's a good version of it, and then there's, the version, like I know in the Canada version, they're like, it's very hard to do this, but you can, like, if you are... The point is, it's an option for people who are in horrible... medical distress. However, there's arguments of severe depression being a medical condition. Yeah. And so then there are people who are basically like life is awful, has been awful for all these years because they suffer from this great medical. And then it's like,
why do you got to get the government involved in your own depression, suicide? I mean, that's
because it's a more humane way to go. I mean, they provide like medications to do it rather than you trying to figure out. They invented a machine in like Sweden that's supposedly like the best way to go possible. It's like nitrous. It's like nitrogen. Like basically they slowly remove oxygen. Yeah. And you basically die high off your ass. Like you're completely looping.
This episode will have 2 views. Like they will.
They will ban. They'll ban your channel.
This is over.
This is not good.
Yeah,
we've literally talked about suicide for like a solid 30 minutes and joked about people killing themselves.
But we're talking about it's different. We're talking about fun.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
We're talking about fun checkouts.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the podcast. The next 20 minutes are cut because Rob and I start talking about politics, the upcoming election, and say insane things that would get this show completely taken off every platform it's on. All right, we're back.
You'll cut the part where isn't that right, Gordon? There you go. Give it a sniff.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to cut all of it.
Yeah, I don't want Meredith didn't sign up to have our house firebombed.
Yeah,
because
you guys have a tall gate. I think it'd be good.
If you're angry enough, you could probably pull it off.
If you're talking like,
Yeah, it's hard to get over that gate. If only you could just, I don't know, use the call box and pretend you're Amazon and also get in.
Yeah, they just open it.
Yeah, and
you
literally
just reach your
have
hand through
us
and
buzz
then knock
you
on your door.
Yeah.
And then
kick in our like fucking plywood door. These doors are so cheap.
Yeah.
It was funny because like I was watching a video where like the cops were trying to kick in this old door and it was like the door was so sturdy and it was just like, oh man.
Oh, well,
is there a door in your house? What are your doors are like that too, aren't they? They're just like two pieces of plywood on like.
I could trip into a door and just
it would
explode through it like a prop. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's funny because we'll close our door and there's a feeling of like it's like, and then it's like, you just if anybody knocks on it, it like shakes.
I even remember like when I was in New York and I'd go to sleep and there's the wall and you would just hear like. Someone might as well be having sex 3 inches from your face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so, like, somehow the wall made it louder. Like, paper-thin walls in almost every apartment I've lived in. These are probably the best walls I've had, and you can still, you can still do one of these.
Yeah, you did that.
Not here, though.
I thought you punched a hole in
No, it wasn't here. I punched a hole in a wall during COVID when someone hacked my Twitter account.
Got it.
Somebody hacked my Twitter account, and I punched a hole in the wall in front of my wife. Not in front of my. She was in the room. I punched a hole in the wall, and then I started crying, and then I crawled into the bedroom, and I was like, "I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this." That's what broke me. Was my Twitter getting hacked.
Can you cut everything and then leave in the part where I mention, where I ask you to cut the parts?
Yeah. We could. I feel like we're on the precipice of diving back in by mistake.
Do you have the energy for that? I
Not
don't
really.
have the energy for that.
Not really.
I don't have the energy for any of it.
I know.
That's why it gets to me because
we
now
could have just talked about.
We could have had fun.
I know.
I feel like we did have fun for a lot.
We did
of
have
this.
fun.
Honestly, it's the unoriginality of it. We're just another podcast shouting about Trump.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
It's a little hacky.
It's not. It's a little hacky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Eric again. What can I say? Sometimes you just want to invite a guy on your podcast to scream about politics, and that's what we did again here. But don't worry, the podcast is almost over now, and I promise you we ended on some light, fun material.
There's a reason Epstein fucking got murdered.
Oops, I came back a little too soon.
If you circumcise your kid, you're a fucking freak.
This is the worst podcast I've ever done.
So the podcast is now 5 minutes long. I come in, I say, you say, "Hey Rob,
Hey
welcome
Rob,
to
where
pod."
can people find you? Where can people find your podcast?
Just look for the Rob Stern Show. Google it. It's on all podcast platforms. It's on every social. The Rob Stern Show.
Great, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a good time.
I had a great time.
Yeah, it was.
And
fun.
they'll play this on the news, and they find my burnt corpse inside of a firebombed apartment.
All right, I'll see you later.